Here is a follow-up to the Impossible Gear Challenge, where Happy Holiday Parts and John Klug made the gear. So this is the original Lemax, this is Happy Holiday Parts, and this is the one made by John Klug. You can tell they're slightly different colors, hopefully, because we got cream white, opaque white, and then bright white. So I ran each of the new gears for 72 hours in the house. Greaves or Black Raven Manor. And to see what the wear is. So comparing it to the original gear, which still has lubrication, I'm using magnifiers to check the wear. The majority of the wear will be on the small teeth. There's a little bit of wear. Let's check the one from John. We have a tooth that's got a small chip in it. Won't affect it any when it's running. Well, it didn't affect it running for over 3 days. So I'm going to zoom in on these so you can see them, and then we're going to also, before I do that, we're going to micrometer them. Excuse me, it's allergy season still. Alright, so John Klug, who made this one, I ran it for 74 hours and 31 minutes. And Happy Holiday Parts that made this one, I ran for 72 hours and 21 minutes. They would have been about the same, except my work schedule didn't permit it. So we're going to put this in millimeters. So measuring flat to flat on the OEM gear, it's 1350. Measuring flat to flat on Happy Holiday Parts gear, it's 1312 millimeter, 13.12 millimeter. And then measuring on John Klug's gear, it is 13.83. So all three gears are different sizes. I'm just going to go back to the original. Yeah, 1350. Now we'll measure the big gear. Big gear going from end to end is 20.88. Happy Holiday Parts is 20.86. And John Klug's gear is 20.85. So they're all within hundredths of a millimeter. That's good. Now let's go for the height. Make sure they're all similar. So 7.23 millimeter for Happy Holiday Parts. 7.04 for the OEM. And John Klug is 6.9. So I don't know if I'll be able to measure the inside hole or not. Probably not. 258 on Klug. $252 on the OEM, and $253 on Happy Holiday Parts. So the gears are really similar. We got a height difference, which didn't affect the function of the house, and we have a slight diameter difference on the transfer gear that goes from the fine teeth to the big teeth. But all three gears worked fine while doing the 3-day test. Now, I didn't put any load on them, meaning I didn't try and stop the moving mechanisms. They were under their own load as if it was on display in a store window. So now we can zoom in. course, the dog always seems to bark when I'm filming. So here's our gears. Klug, Happy Holiday, OEM. So you can, and the thing about Happy Holiday is they made the bottom gear thicker. They took this offset and just made it more gear. So you can see there's a big thickness difference. And then Klug redid the spacer, as you can see there. So let's see if I can show you the tooth that's partially chipped. See if I can find it. That one right there. Put it down. Hopefully you can see it. Let's get a pointer. See how it's pointy, not so pointy. So the tip of that tooth chipped. I don't know if it chipped before or after I was running it. I only visually inspected the gears. I didn't actually magnify them to see them closer. And you can tell, at least with the magnification, hopefully, now that it's zoomed in, with the 0.04 of an inch difference in hole size. You can see that one's slightly larger than that one or that one. I appreciate both for making it. I did acquire some multiple from both so I can fix these houses. Since I cannot get the info from Lemax, but whatever material this is harder. It's not as pliable. I don't remember what he used to cast it. I think it was Alumalite. This is kind of a nylon blend, I believe. This is a nylon gear. That's why it's darker than this one. It's not as transparent. You can see this is more white, and this is picking up some of the green from the matte. And this one is really white. So you can see the teeth mesh just fine as they're pushed up against each other. So I'll be using them all. Whether it's to repair my house if one breaks or some of the houses I'm working on. I know Happy Holiday Parts sells them. I've linked them on my website. I don't think John sells them, but I will ask because I don't know the process in casting these. I've tried casting, as you saw with a failed video. It was too brittle and I kept breaking the big gear. I tried more aluminum, less aluminum to reinforce the gear using metal versus nylon like this one or this one. But I tried, I failed. Somebody else's who are much smarter than I am at making gears were able to make me 2 replacements. So 72 hours and 21 minutes of wear on this gear and 74 hours and 31 minutes of wear on that gear. It would have been 72, like I said, except I was at work, so I couldn't get home to turn the unit off at approximately the same time. The only thing I noticed is this has a chipped tooth, and the other thing I noticed on this one, I don't know if you can see it, but the big gear, we'll call it the outer gear, besides being thicker, it's got a slight taper. I don't know if you can see that the gear is tapered. It's taller here and shorter at the bottom. So I don't know if that's wear or just from the casting. Either way, it didn't fail. Now, the Manor with the spinning ghost doesn't have as near as much moving mass as, let's say, the Zombie Airplane Ride or the Ghost Around Roundup, which those things spin and lift, or even the Octo Squeeze. So it is possible under a larger carnival style ride they may fail, or they may not. I don't know. I don't have a carnival ride to test them in that I'm going to let run for hours or days with nobody periodically checking on it. Carnival rides don't want to just fail because the gear breaks. They usually fail because the motor smokes, and I don't want it running when I'm at work and then have the motor smoke and potentially start a fire, because it's rare, but they do burn. So, but anyway, this was just a follow-up to show, here's the Happy Holiday part, here's the OEM, and here's John Klug's. I did send John Klug a house, since he did Lumina cast me a few of these. And I have talked to Victor about those from Happy Holiday Parts. So I appreciate both of them. And now I'm going to get back to repairing these houses. So you'll see a lot more repair videos. I'm trying to get at least one a week up. Real recently, we've been getting like 2, 3, 4. So I'm trying to come home and get these done because I have a backlog of these things. But now that the parts are coming in, whether it be a motor or a gear, we're getting it done. So thanks for watching this short follow-up. If any questions or concerns, email me below from the link or send me a message through Facebook. And I will link the info for at least this one. I'll talk to John about that one, and then that one's going back in my house. So, because Lee Max doesn't tell you where they get them or have them made. So, thanks for watching. Till the next one.